There we go.
All right.
All right. We're here with the Red Bandit, who is our champion for Monday Night Starbow number 5, our third $25 open.
Is that too bad?
What?
Do you have any feedback?
No, you sound fine.
Okay, good. I don't have my headphones in, so.
Yeah, no problem. So, 3-time champion. What's your secret?
Secret? Oh gosh, I don't even know. Probably because I just used to play a lot of Brood War, like in my early teens, and so a lot of build orders are the same. There's differences in some of the Starbow builds, but for the most part, it's like still the same kind of like rules of thumb that you have to follow, which is like make workers, and if you're not making workers, like you have to be attacking and shit like that. So it just it translates over. It translates over well, and I think like if someone played Brood War, and then if someone played StarCraft 2, the person who played Brood War is probably going to be better at Starbow than the person who played StarCraft 2. But I play both of them, so I guess it works out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, Starbow definitely is based upon Brood War, using that as a base for the balance, and so it's definitely going to have a lot of that Brood War-esque kind of dynamics, and going to be following a lot of those Brood War builds. But there's a lot of creative stuff that people could do with a lot of the new Starbow and StarCraft 2 units too, which we saw some good examples of in the tournament tonight. Some really cool plays out of players. Kalevi did some really cool stuff with Vikings in one of his matches against Ejwoda. That was pretty fun to see.
I think I saw that one actually, which is nice because I'm trying to learn Terran now, and Terran versus Zerg is actually like the only matchup I would say that I'm just straight up bad at, and I'm starting to learn it. And so it was actually nice to see him play with the Valkyries, or the Vikings, I should say.
The kind of Valkyries Vikings.
What I'm doing when I play that matchup, TVZ.
Yeah, absolutely. So, walk us through the first game with RSVP here in the finals. A little bit back and forth there at the beginning. You were able to get.
I forgot what happened.
You actually went Ser DT early on, which he did defend all right. But in the meantime, he didn't have Hydralisk speed very quickly, and you really took off quite a few Overlords. So, kind of, how did that game go there? He was starting to get Mutalisk where they were threatening, where they could have gotten into your main, and you just went for the big attack there off of 2 base.
I remember that. I'm actually pulling up the replay right now.
Okay.
Just so I can really get back there. But so pretty much, I scouted in with the probe, right, and pretty much when you scout with the probe, the only thing you're really looking for, like the first thing, is the gas, right? So you go up there. I saw that he didn't have the gas, and then I saw immediately after he had the third, so I knew that a Corsair opening would work out just fine. And I did that, and I picked off a lot of Overlords, and I thought he was just going straight Hydra. So I was a bit surprised when I saw the Mutalisk come out. I thought maybe he would just get the Spire for like some Scourges or whatever. And so, but the main problem with Zerg doing that is that it commits them so heavily to Mutalisk that, and you'll see if you look back at the replay what I did, and this is the only thing the Protoss really needs to do, is he just retreats to his base for like 2 minutes, he messes up Corsairs and maybe a couple Archons, and then he moves out again. And then the Zerg will be in a really hard-pressed spot to win it from there. So that was my like theory behind the opening of that game.
Yeah, because there was an opportunity before you pushed out again where I thought he might have been able to get into your probe line. Actually, your main especially was rather undefended, but at that stage you had such a big army anyway. Even if he had killed quite a few probes, probably wouldn't have had enough at home anyway. He had some nice SimCity though that he was forcing you through, but it was still just too much Protoss with his Archons in there.
That's true, actually. I remember even better now. Like when I attacked into it, he actually defended my first wave better than I thought he would. But at that point, like, it's kind of like you either need lurkers or you just die. So, and obviously he didn't have lurkers, so he just died.
Yeah, it was definitely a strange game from his end, using that gas and getting Hydras and then getting Mutalisks, as opposed to using that gas earlier for things like Hydra speed or getting into the lurkers there. So, but because not having Hydra speed was really rough on him, he lost quite a few more Overlords than he probably would have. So.
He was probably just trying to do too much at once. Like if you're gonna go for the Spire, it's either like you go You just go for the Spire, and then you kind of just say, screw screw Hydras for a while. But he kind of like did the Hydras, and then he did the Spire, and then you got to account for Zealots in there somewhere too. So
Yeah, absolutely. So
because they're pretty strong unit, pretty good unit, right?
they absolutely
Zealots
are.
a pretty good unit.
They're very good units. I like them. Okay, the next game, he actually RSVP goes for a quick pool and quick gas with quick Zerling speed, and you actually did not scout that until you saw the Zerlings outside of your natural, because you hadn't scouted until I think after Forge actually, and you actually had Nexus before Cannon. Yeah. But you were able to get the wall up just in time. So
here's the thing. Here's the thing with this matchup right now, and I talk about it with Zephyr sometimes. Essentially, Protoss can get away with Nexusing at 12 and then walling off, even on a map where I need 2 pylons on the wall.
Yeah.
And he'll be safe from anything like if you go 10 pool, you won't kill him. And even if you go 9 pool, you still probably won't kill him. So it's kind of like I figured he would probably choose that map because he was going to try to do the Zergling rush. But I've just tested Zerg versus Protoss so much that I just know the best opener for both races.
Yeah.
And I know like the proper way to react to pretty much any like pool timing. So, and it's because I sat there with Nap one day and I was just like, all right, Nap, let's test 6 pool, let's test 7 pool, let's test 8 pool versus the 12 Nexus and the 12 Forge build. Mm-hmm. And unless like you went 6 pool, you're just not going to do any damage.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how early the pool was, but it was probably somewhere around a 10 pool if I had to guess. And yeah, that's the point. It was close. He had Zerlings on the way, but especially you had just sent out a probe and saw them coming and were able to throw down a couple more pylons and then a large number of cannons. So.
Yep. And then when I saw his Hydras come out, like I could sort of gauge how many drones he had made by the time I saw the Hydras. So when I saw his Hydras were like super duper early, I kind of just came to the conclusion that it was like essentially an all-in. Mm-hmm. And you'll notice I even made a Stargate after that point. Like I just made a bunch of cannons and I made the Stargate, because what the Stargate does versus a build like that is that it narrows his all-in timing down quite a bit, because what he'll do is he'll either have to move back to his base to defend his overlords, and then pretty much taking the all-in out of the all-in won't work anymore because he has to go home with his units, or he has to just attack the cannons front on, which is probably like a losing proposition because there was like 8 or 9 cannons there.
There were quite a few. Yeah, that was actually something that I noted during the cast was he showed those first 2 Hydras really quick before he had he looked like he was actually going all in with the bust, and I thought it might have been, I don't know your thoughts on it, but it might have been better to hold back until he had a large number of Hydras before showing those to you, because you really weren't in a great position to scout him yet either.
Yeah.
You did it. Well, you did have a Zealot on the map though.
I did have the Zealot on the map. I was going to scout it either way, and then even if I didn't have that Zealot, I probably would have waited another like minute and a half before my like Stargate was finished, and I'd probably just throw down 2 extra cannons just to be safe, because I knew that I was in a winning position pretty much. Like I don't know if anyone plays chess. I don't really play chess that much, but I was essentially like 2 pawns up at that point. And so I knew all I had to do is pretty much just not die, and I could kind of forego some of my advantages, just sort of make sure that I didn't lose. So that's why I probably would have put 2 cannons up anyways. Like,
yeah.
If there's one thing I pride myself on in that matchup, it's not dying to Hydra Bus ever. So, I mean, just as long as you make a Stargate and you know the decent time the Corsairs pop out, all you have to do is just make sure you throw down like maybe 4 cannons at most. And then after that, as long as you're macroing the right way, I don't really see a way Hydra Bus work. I don't even try Hydra Bus when I'm Zerg. I just like maybe pick off the Forge and then macro up behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting the Forge can be a big thing. At least delaying those upgrades.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, well done, well played. Any questions from chat? There's not a whole lot of people still watching, but that's okay. So yeah, any thoughts on? There was one comment regarding that tight wall with Protoss, and
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the tight walling? I know it's something the walling mechanics have been brought up in the past. Yeah, here's a question from Kiriak. Any way to punish a fast Nexus as Zerg in a reliable way? You can
Yeah.
comment on both of those if you like.
I'd say so. Answering the question in chat, in Starbow, I find the best way to punish it is you do something like you throw down, you get your first expansion, right? And then you get your second expansion at like 19 drones. And then you go ahead and you make a Hydra Den, get range on that son of a gun, and then make like 4 Hydras. And then you go and pressure his front. And then you kill the gateway, you kill the forge, and then you can either go all in from there or you can just macro up behind it. And it's a lot better because what you can do is you can kind of just make a couple more Hydras and get maybe like 6, and then just make the rest Zerglings because at that point the cannons are just fully exposed, and you'll have enough larvae to punish them from there. But it's kind of contingent upon how many cannons the Protoss makes.
Yeah, where you go from there. I mean, maybe get the forge, get the get the gateway, and then depending on how he reacted, make a decision from there how to deal with it.
But yeah, there's ways to punish it.
Yeah.
Just get Hydra range and go kill a few buildings and then back off. It'll scare the shit out of him too. He'll be like, "Oh my god, you're gonna make 20 Hydras and then maybe make a bunch of cannons."
Yeah, that's definitely one thing that I've overreacted many times to a few Hydralists at the front. Throw down a bunch of cannons and try to get safe and don't even move out until I have Storm, and then at that point, Zerg's got 4 bases. So
yeah, and then you watch the replay and you're like, "Oh, he actually only made 3 Hydras."
Yeah, absolutely. So Finn asks, "What's wrong with ZVZ?" Basically commenting on the off racing.
Nothing's wrong with it. When I pick Zerg, the other people pick Protoss. When I pick Protoss, the other people pick Zerg. I love mirror matchups. I'd like to play a mirror matchup every time if I could.
There you go. Straight from the horse's mouth. It's not the Red Bandit. Don't blame the Red Bandit for nobody ever playing ZVZ.
They're the one dodging me. Okay? I'm trying to get the mirror matchups every time.
Yeah. I swear I've only seen like maybe 2 or 3 games of ZVZ and Starbow. See, I've seen good number of PvP and TBT, but ZVZ especially. So, all right. So, anything else you'd like to say to your adoring fans before we end the interview? Or
nope.
Any other comments you'd like to put out there for the Starbow community? Or
I'd like to say keep watching the tournaments, and I think it's nice that you're hosting these every Monday or every other Monday.
Yeah, no problem.
Whatever it is. And I think it's great for the community. I think we got a great game here, and I hope that it keeps coming along, and I hope that people keep watching it. So keep tuning in.
Absolutely, and don't forget about Eurobow as well, monthly event, European friendly. I know that we probably have a good number of Europeans who like to watch the VODs as well. So do you remember Monday Night Starbow? Every week or pretty close, we have Monday Night Starbow events. Next week will be another D/E/noob tournament. Woo! So get excited. TRB's having fun with the camera. So make sure to sign up for that. You can sign up at challenge.com/MNS6. If you'd like to see the brackets for this event, that's at challenge.com/MNS5. Stay tuned to the StarbowBond.com forums. We'll be having more posts on there. And I think that puts a wrap on Monday Night Starbow number 5. I'm gonna
Zach, I got a question for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who do you think, if it'll ever happen, who do you think will beat me in these tournaments? And here's the second part to the question: do you root for me, or do you root against? Are you an anti-Bandit fan?
No, I am a Bandit fan. I
really?
would like to see somebody beat you though too.
Oh,
so
okay.
I do like to see you do well. But I do want to see a different champion at some point. So I was kind of hoping RSVP would have a good shot there. Depending on the matchup, I think France Car could potentially. Moxie's pretty good, but you seem to, at least the last 2 weeks ago, you had a pretty good handle on him there. So
yeah,
it really depends who we get to sign up.
I play with Moxie like outside of tournaments. I'd say that his winning rate against me he might beat me more than I beat him, but I've played him probably in like 4 tournaments now, and I end up just getting him every time. And I think he usually like gets the first game off me too.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened last time.
Chat says BC Cutie. BC Cutie would definitely have a good shot, but I don't know if BC Cutie will ever play the Monday Night Starbows or not. He hasn't played one yet. Where is he from? I actually don't know.
I think he's in Europe somewhere.
That's what I thought, so it could be a little late for him. This might have been one of his best chances since this one did start 2 hours earlier. So, yeah, well, we'll have to just get more participants in here. We definitely did have some more people sign up. I know Moxie was originally signed up. And to be fair, 2 weeks ago when he was playing in a cafe on a laptop, tethering from his phone. So he might not have been in the best playing conditions last week. So I think Moxie has a shot. If you can get you on a.
You know what I'd like to see? I'd actually like to see a finals with Moxie and Franskar, because I think Moxie is the best active Terran right now.
Yeah,
that'd be a fun matchup to watch.
Moxie's pretty good. Who was the other pretty good Terran who I haven't seen a whole lot of recently?
Scaphism,
yes.
Yeah.
Scaphism. I'd like to see Scaphism playing one of these. That would be good too. So. All right. Anything else? TRB versus Bisu. Yeah, let's get Bisu. Well, hey, Korea's starting to talk about it, so that we can dream, right? Get Bisu on the Monday Night Starbow. That'd be pretty great.
Hey, keep tuning in because you never know what's going to happen.
Absolutely, you never know. So, yeah, keep playing Starbow. Keep plugging it. The dev team is hard at work. It's getting pretty close. It really is. I think that there were some people. I think Ziphius was casting something earlier talking about how, the game is looking pretty good at this stage. So, still some things to tweak, a few things to figure out, but the game is getting close, I think. So,
yep.
Definitely seeing the more players we can get to play it, the more players enter these tournaments, the better of an idea we'll get about how the game's going. So.
Oh, there's one more question here in chat. I'm going to answer it real quick, unless you have to go.
No, you're fine.
Okay. This guy asked, "What's your best race, Protoss or Zerg?" And I guess it just depends on which one I'm playing most. As of recently, I'm probably playing Protoss more. So I would say this is how I'd look at it. I think if I could duplicate myself and play myself, which is fucked up to even think about, excuse my language, but if that could happen, and one of me played Protoss and one of me played Zerg, I think the Protoss would win a best of 5, but I think it would be 3-2.
There you go. Yeah, TRB probably does actually. Probably, I'd say. I was just about to say, he's probably got the best ZVP out there, but he's probably also got the best PVZ out there as well. So he just really, really understands that matchup really well. So how's your now when you're playing against Terran? Do you rather play Zerg or do you rather play Protoss? Which one of those matchups is your better one? Your PVT or your ZVT?
Honestly, I haven't played much PVT at all. I've maybe played it like a couple times over the past month. I feel like if I could sit down and play it with someone for like maybe a few times over the course of a week, I'd get a better handle on just like the openings. But it seems like a little bit more favored towards Protoss just because you can move the Dragoons around so much better.
It does definitely help.
Yeah, and then I feel like the tanks don't evaporate armies as quick as they did in Brood War. So, but those are just little observations I've had. I don't know.
Yeah, hard to say. It really depends. Probably depends on the level of the players, because I know that they evaporate my armies just fine, but that's not bad. So, all right, terrific. Well, TRB, the Red Bandit, thanks for taking the time to talk with us here at the end of the broadcast.
No problem. My pleasure.
Any other shout-outs you want to give?
Shout out who played in the tournament? Shout out to Franskar. Shout out to Kalevi, and shout out to RSVP. I'm sorry I've been beating you guys lately. I really hope that you can eventually step your games up and maybe take a series off me. I think that would be good for the community as a whole. So.
All right, there's the challenge. The gauntlet has been thrown down. TRB is welcoming all challengers to beat him in one of these events. So, all right, I want to give a few shout-outs. Shout out to Ziphius, of course, for letting me use the official Starbow stream here for hosting the Monday Night Starbow events. Shout out again to SOA for all the help with the graphics. And any of that kind of thing. So,
all right, I gotta end it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right, bye. And then, of course, thanks to my co-caster Finn, who we sadly did lose in the middle of the finals. So hopefully his computer's okay. So that'll be it for me for the night. get on, play some Starbow. If you're not going to be watching the Colts game, because that's what I'm going to be doing. I might be hanging out in the Starbow channel, though, while I do so. So, that'll be it for me for the night. Come back next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Central European. We'll have the DE/Noob tournament. So, any late night Europeans, feel free to check that out. So, that'll be it for this edition. Have a good night, everybody.